I don't know who killed Stephen Smith, but I do know that something went wrong in the investigation of his death, and because of that, Stephen's family has been waiting 2,194 days to get justice in his case. My name is Mandy Matney, and this is the Murdaugh Murders Podcast. So as we explained in the last episode, there was a lot of dispute about the cause of Stephen's death from the beginning. The first few investigators on scene went back and forth between a gunshot homicide and a hit-and-run accident. South Carolina Highway Patrol officers were told it wasn't a vehicular accident and they didn't have to be at the autopsy. But then at the autopsy, pathologist Dr. Aaron Presnell ruled that Stephen was killed in a hit-and-run crash. Two Highway Patrol investigators who spoke with Presnell described hostile experiences with her and couldn't get a direct answer for why she ruled Stephen's death a vehicle accident. And a month after Stephen's death, the coroner said that he didn't believe that Stephen's death was a hit and run. And despite the fact that officials rejected the ruling that Stephen was killed by a truck mirror in a hit-and-run accident, the Highway Patrol investigated the case. They started by interviewing Stephen's family members and a man that described himself as Stephen's boyfriend. On August 7, 2015, South Carolina Highway Patrol investigator Corporal Michael E. Duncan calls Stephen's friend, who we will call Brittany in this podcast. We changed Brittany's voice due to the sensitive nature of this topic.
Let me kind of go over a couple of things, just a little information that I got, and you can either confirm or not sure. She called me yesterday, or it might have been the day before, but she says, matter of fact, it's on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, that she was at church and that both of y'all had spoken about Stephen's death, about Buster Murdaugh. Is that correct? Kind of tell me what you told her about that.
I told her that another friend of mine had texted me asking me if Buster and Stephen were together, and I told him no. I said, not that I knew of, and then I asked him why. He said because he had heard that, and then I asked him who he heard it from, and he said he didn't know, he just heard it.
Okay, so he didn't have any anything to base that upon, just except for more or less a rumor. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Had you ever heard of Stephen and Buster being involved with at all before this?
No, sir, I haven't.
So this was the first time you'd ever heard about something like this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you know Stephen at all?
Yes, sir. He was my best friend.
Okay. And did you know Stephen was gay?
I did.
Later that day, Duncan makes a note of the rumor that Brittany told him about in the investigation file. This is the first time he ever wrote down the Murdaugh name, even though he had heard it in 2 previous interviews. A couple weeks pass and not much happens with the investigation. On August 27, 2015, Duncan interviews a man, who we will call Ben, over the phone. The day before, Sandy Smith told Duncan that this man had information on Stephen's death. Unfortunately, the interview really doesn't go anywhere. The man doesn't say that much, but he does mention a rumor that he heard.
And now let me ask you this. Have you heard anything strange about how Stephen died, or any rumors or anything like that?
What I heard was they said he was running from somebody.
Said he was running from...
Yeah, he was running in the woods from a guy, like he was running from somebody in the woods.
Now, who'd you hear that? Did you hear that from Stephen's mama?
No, I heard this from my classmates.
Okay, all right. And did they even describe who it may have been?
They said it was an older guy he was running from. Nobody knew of, and I guess Stephen was going to bring him out or something like that. That's what we thought.
Okay.
The next day, Lance Corporal Conley interviews a man, we will call him Joe, who lives on Hilton Head. He called Joe after Sandy Smith found a gate pass for a Hilton Head gated community with Joe's name on it. This gate pass was found inside Stephen's car, which was supposed to be searched for evidence by police. And Stephen's mom was the only one to find this pass. For those of you who aren't familiar, a visitor to one of Hilton Head's gated communities must obtain a gate pass in order to enter. This usually means stopping by a gatehouse, producing an ID, and telling an armed guard whose house you're going to visit. Then you are provided a gate pass to enter the community. This man that the Highway Patrol interviews called in a gate pass for Stephen 10 days prior to his death, and the pass was still in the car with his name on it. The forensics team must have missed this, and Stephen's mom must have been the only one who cared enough to examine this, call the source, and motivate investigators to follow up on this lead. Even then, investigators still pretty much brushed past this interview. Joe was an older man and recently divorced. He said that he met Stephen online, but said no money was exchanged in their encounter. Joe said that he doesn't do this kind of thing often. He said that they hooked up on June 28th, but it was a one-night stand. Joe said that he texted Stephen a few times after that and didn't realize that he passed away until after he was contacted by Sandy. Now keep in mind that investigators just heard the day before that there were rumors that Stephen was running from an older guy when he was killed, a guy that he possibly had hooked up with. And then they meet a man who fits this description and they don't even bother to ask him for an alibi. So who knows if there's any truth to this older man rumor whatsoever. But all of this shows sloppy police work at the very least. A couple days later, an investigator named Todd Proctor steps in. Proctor interviews a man, and we'll call him Kevin, and the investigation takes another turn.
But I'll tell you, my office is out of Charleston, so I have no ties to Hampton. There's no big name in Hampton that worries me. You know, and I want you to feel at ease about that as well, because I've heard that this name, people associated with this name have been going around kind of threatening or putting the heat on people, saying, you know, keep your mouth closed if you heard something, whatever.
And the conversation gets very interesting.
First we heard he was shot, then we heard it was a hit and run, but recently, probably a week and a half ago, I'd say something like that. I heard that these 2, maybe 3 young men were in a vehicle. They were riding down 601, saw the car on the side of the road. I guess saw the boy walking. They turned back around. I guess they were attempting to, I don't want to say, you know, mess around with him or something like that, and stuck something out the window, and it, you know, hit him in, I don't know if it hit him in the head or the back or where it hit him. And then that's pretty much all I heard. I did hear names, and I heard a name, and that name was, he goes by Buster Murdaugh.